There will come a time, if you prepare your mind, discipline your actions, and master your emotions, when money no longer becomes a wish, but a wave. A wave so large, so constant, so all-consuming that you won't know what to do with it. Not because you're unprepared, but because you've crossed into a new realm. A realm where abundance is the default, not the dream. The average person cannot comprehend such a reality because they've been trained to think in terms of limits. They've been conditioned by the world to believe in just enough to survive, just enough to pay the bills, just enough to scrape by. But that is not your destiny. You were not born for a life of quiet desperation. You were born to command your environment, to dominate your circumstances, and to possess wealth in such vast quantities that it becomes impossible to hide. But here's the truth: you cannot receive externally what your mind rejects internally. That's why the first and greatest transformation must take place within you. You must create a mental mold so expansive, so bold, so crystal clear, that wealth flows into it like water into a vessel. You must condition your thoughts to expect prosperity the same way others expect struggle. You must reprogram your inner conversation from "I hope" to "I will," and from "I can't" to "I am already becoming." When you operate with a definite purpose, when your vision is not vague but laser-focused, wealth gravitates to you with magnetic force, not by accident, not by magic, but by law, because the mind that is aligned with purpose emits a frequency of clarity, and the world responds in kind. You are not here to chase money. That's what the desperate do. You are here to attract it, command it, and multiply it by delivering real value to the world. And how do you do that? You build systems. You use leverage. You remove yourself from the grind and step into the role of creator, architect, and strategist. You let your knowledge work while you sleep. You let your influence expand without your presence. You create income streams that are not dependent on your physical time, but on the reach of your ideas. This is how true wealth is built, not by trading time for money, but by trading intelligence for freedom. But let me remind you of something few understand. Money is not your master. It is your servant. If you do not control it, it will control you. If you are not emotionally stable, it will expose every crack in your character. Wealth does not fix what is broken. It magnifies it. So if your habits are poor, money will only fuel your destruction. If your mindset is weak, money will feed your fears. That is why before you earn more, you must become more. You must develop emotional discipline. When things go wrong, you must remain calm. When delays happen, you must remain faithful. When the noise of doubt creeps in, you must remain focused. Emotional mastery is the price of long-term wealth. Anyone can make $1. Few can multiply it with patience, protect it with wisdom, and use it with impact. And if you want to make more than you ever imagined, you must help more people than you ever planned. Solve problems that others avoid. Make the complicated simple. Make the painful bearable. When you serve with intensity, when your ideas help others rise, money becomes a natural byproduct. Do not chase it. Chase excellence. Do not beg for it. Build for it. The person who creates the most value earns the most freedom. You see, there's a reason some people seem to always be in the right place at the right time. It's because they prepared their minds to recognize the opportunity before it appeared. They planted seeds before the storm. They were mentally wealthy long before they were financially rich. That's the secret most won't tell you. Money flows to those who are ready, not to those who are wishing. And once it starts coming, once the floodgates of wealth open, you'll look around and realize you have more than you ever thought possible. You'll have options. You'll have power. You'll have freedom. You'll have so much money, you won't even know what to do with it all. But that's when the real work begins. Because the goal is not to drown in luxury, but to rise in legacy. To use your wealth to uplift, to empower, and to inspire. Wealth begins in the mind long before it shows up in the bank. If you want so much money that you won't know what to do with it, you must first develop the internal capacity to hold it, attract it, and manage it. Most people try to fix their financial life by chasing more work, more hours, more hustle. But the real transformation begins when you train your mind to become a magnet for abundance. You must condition your thoughts to believe that wealth is not only possible but inevitable for you. Not from a place of desperation or fantasy, but from an inner conviction that your value, your purpose, and your discipline will create unstoppable financial momentum. The mind that expects wealth moves differently. It speaks with clarity. It takes bold, precise action. It does not beg for success. It commands it. This mindset is not arrogance. It's alignment. When you believe you are worthy of wealth, you no longer sabotage opportunities. You no longer settle for less. You no longer delay decisions that move your life forward. You speak the language of abundance in your daily habits. You spend wisely, invest intelligently, and protect your energy like it's sacred. Because it is. You understand that your focus is your currency and your beliefs are your bank. The more you think in terms of opportunity, the more opportunity reveals itself to you. This is not wishful thinking. It's psychological law. You cannot build a mansion on a cracked foundation, and you cannot build a fortune on a mind polluted by fear, guilt, and limitation. You must reconstruct your belief system, eliminate scarcity programming, and adopt new mental routines that condition you for wealth. Speak prosperity daily. Surround yourself with growth-minded people. Feed your brain with knowledge, not noise. Respect money by managing it well, even when it's in small amounts. That's how you train the universe to trust you with more. Eventually, money starts coming faster. Opportunities increase. Doors open. People gravitate toward you, not because of luck, but because your frequency shifted. And when your mind is a magnet, the world cannot help but send you exactly what you've prepared for. Nothing attracts wealth faster than a mind fueled by a definite purpose. When your life has a clear aim, a meaningful direction, and a burning reason behind every action, money begins to respond. Not because money has a mind of its own, but because purpose aligns your thoughts, energy, and behavior into one unstoppable force. Most people drift. They live reactively, chasing trends, responding to pressure, following the crowd. But the man or woman who moves with purpose walks a different path. They do not wake up wondering what to do. They wake up with clarity, commitment, and certainty. Definite purpose acts like a magnet in the invisible world. It tells the universe, "This is where I'm going, and I will not be denied." And when that declaration is backed by consistent action, obstacles begin to fall and support begins to rise. You start meeting the right people. You find yourself in the right rooms. You hear the right information at the right time. It's not coincidence. It's the reward for clarity. Purpose gives your energy precision. It eliminates the distractions. It silences the noise. It empowers you to say no to the things that waste your time and yes to the things that build your future. When your purpose is clear, your work becomes sacred. You no longer work just to pay bills. You work to fulfill a mission. That's where wealth begins to multiply, because the world doesn't reward effort alone. It rewards impact. When your purpose solves problems, when it serves others, when it improves lives, the marketplace responds with financial abundance. Your income becomes a reflection of your usefulness. And the more intentional you become, the more valuable you are. But this kind of purpose is not handed to you. You must discover it. You must dig into your heart, question your motives, and define exactly why you want wealth. Wanting more is not enough. You must know what you will do with more. Who will you serve? What will you build? What kind of life will you create? These questions aren't fluff. They are fuel. And when you have answers, your days gain momentum. Your decisions gain weight, and your actions gain power. The path to financial freedom is not paved by constant effort, but by intelligent design. If you truly want more money than you know what to do with, you must step beyond the old idea of working harder for every dollar. The truth is, there are limits to how many hours you can work, how much energy you can expend, and how many tasks you can juggle. But there is no limit to how far your systems, ideas, and automated processes can reach. That's why the wealthy don't just work. They build machines that work for them. They don't chase money. They design systems that attract and multiply it. Automation is not about shortcuts or laziness. It is about leverage. It's about putting in effort once and letting that effort pay you over and over again. It's the difference between selling your time and owning a system. Whether it's an online business, a digital product, affiliate marketing, real estate, dividend-generating investments, or content that continues to generate value long after it's made. Every income stream you automate frees you from the trap of trading hours for income. To build automated income, you must start with knowledge and execution. You must learn how to build systems, how to use technology, how to understand markets, and how to structure your life so that your money flows whether you're awake or asleep. This doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen to those who are intentional. Start small. Build one stream, then two, then more. Over time, your financial ecosystem will begin to breathe on its own. It will sustain itself, scale itself, and feed itself, because you designed it to do so. But here's the truth most ignore: before you automate wealth, you must discipline your behavior. Because automation without structure leads to chaos. You must manage your mindset, track your results, optimize your systems, and stay consistent. You don't need 10 ideas. You need one working system and relentless improvement. The internet, the global economy, and technology have made it possible for almost anyone to create scalable, automated income. But very few commit to learning what it takes. The barrier is not opportunity, it is mindset. Once your income becomes automated, your life changes. You're no longer a slave to the clock. You're no longer stuck in survival mode. You can think, create, travel, build, and live on your terms. You can help more people. You can invest in bigger visions. You can focus on what truly matters, because the money is working even when you're not. So ask yourself, what can you build that pays you more than once? What value can you deliver that multiplies without your constant attention? What system can you create today that will bless your life tomorrow? When you answer those questions and act on them, you step into a different reality, one where wealth flows even in your silence, even in your sleep. That's the kind of wealth that creates freedom, legacy, and peace. Money is powerful, but only when it's in the right hands under the right control. If you let money control your decisions, your emotions, and your identity, then it becomes your master. But when you take full command over how you earn it, how you use it, and what it represents in your life, it becomes your most loyal servant. And that is the difference between financial slavery and financial freedom. Most people don't realize they are being ruled by money. They chase it desperately. They fear losing it. They allow it to dictate their mood, their self-worth, and even their values. That is not wealth. That is bondage wearing a mask of prosperity. To build lasting success, you must reverse this relationship. You must place money beneath you, not above you. You must control it with purpose, not emotion. You don't work for money. You use money to work for your dreams. You don't chase it. You attract it through value. And when it comes, you don't worship it. You assign it. You tell it where to go, what to build, and how to serve your vision. That is what financially free people do. They give money a job. They give it a structure. They make it obey their plans, not their fears. This is why emotional maturity is critical in the journey of wealth. Because without discipline, money becomes dangerous. It amplifies whatever mindset you already carry. If you're impulsive, money will fuel your chaos. If you're insecure, money will become your mask. But if you are grounded, focused, and purposeful, money becomes your amplifier for good. It multiplies your mission. It expands your reach. It increases your ability to serve, to lead, to impact, and to grow. To make money your servant, you must have a system for managing it. That means budgeting with clarity, investing with wisdom, and spending with intention. You must eliminate emotional purchases and replace them with strategic decisions. Every dollar must have direction. Every financial decision must pass through the filter of your long-term vision. Ask yourself, does this purchase move me forward or hold me back? Does this investment build my future or feed my ego? These questions create control, and control over your finances creates peace. When you learn to use money instead of being used by it, you gain more than financial power. You gain personal freedom. You're no longer anxious every time prices rise or unexpected bills show up. You're no longer living paycheck to paycheck, trapped in cycles of panic and pressure. You rise above that. You create space, you create control, you create choices. And the more you grow, the more responsibility you carry. That's why mastering your relationship with money early is essential. Because when the large sums start flowing in, the undisciplined will be consumed by their own success. But those who train their mind to lead money, not be led by it, will build empires that last, legacies that inspire, and lives that reflect true abundance. So let money serve you, not enslave you. Let it follow your vision, not shape it. The master of money builds a future that can never be stolen, shaken, or silenced. Wealth flows to those who solve meaningful problems for many people. If you want so much money that you won't know what to do with it, you must stop thinking in terms of effort alone and start thinking in terms of impact. One person working hard can earn a living, but one person creating value at scale can build a fortune. This is the great shift, from labor to leverage, from effort to impact, from scarcity to abundance. It is not about how many hours you put in, it's about how many lives you touch, how many problems you solve, and how deeply your value is felt across the world. Every great fortune was built on the foundation of value delivered at scale. Whether it's through products, services, ideas, content, or innovation, those who serve the masses earn the most. When you help one person, you make a difference. When you help millions, you build wealth. This doesn't mean you have to be famous. It means you have to be intentional. You must find a way to package your knowledge, your skill, your solution into something that reaches beyond your physical presence. That could be a digital course, a piece of software, a business model, a podcast, a YouTube channel, a mobile app, or a community platform. The vehicle doesn't matter as much as the value it delivers. To create value at scale, you must start by asking the right questions. What problem do people have that I can solve better than anyone else? How can I deliver that solution faster, easier, cheaper, or more effectively than what's currently available? How can I remove myself from the limitations of time and reach more people with the same amount of effort? These are the questions that lead to scalable success. Technology has made it possible for ordinary individuals to have extraordinary reach. You no longer need a large team or massive capital to impact thousands or even millions. You need clarity, creativity, and courage. The clarity to know what value you offer, the creativity to build systems that deliver it at scale, and the courage to show up, speak up, and ship your ideas into the world consistently. When you do that, the world begins to respond, customers come, support follows, and revenue increases, not by chance but by design. But creating value at scale also demands integrity. You must not seek to manipulate or mislead. You must not promise what you can't deliver. Real value is rooted in truth. It creates results. It earns trust. And that trust becomes the bridge to long-term wealth. One satisfied customer leads to 10. One genuine impact leads to exponential growth. It is not the volume of your voice, but the depth of your solution that determines your reach. This is the new wealth equation: solve big problems, serve big audiences, and stay true to your mission. The moment you shift from, how can I make money, to how can I serve at scale, your financial future changes, because the marketplace is hungry for real solutions, and if you can consistently deliver them, the money will come. Faster, bigger, and more frequently than you ever thought possible. Not because you forced it, but because you earned it through relentless value. That's the secret of creating wealth that grows while you sleep. That's how money becomes a flood, not a trickle, all by choosing to solve problems that matter for people who need them at a scale that multiplies forever. Wealth without emotional discipline is like a powerful car in the hands of a reckless driver. No matter how much you acquire, no matter how many income streams you create, and no matter how large the numbers in your account grow, if your emotions are unstable, your fortune will eventually slip through your fingers. Emotional discipline is the invisible foundation that holds wealth together. It's what keeps you calm when others panic, focused when others are distracted, and confident when others are filled with doubt. Most people believe that financial success is purely about knowledge, strategy, or opportunity. But the truth is, emotional control determines who builds lasting wealth and who burns out before they even arrive. The path to financial abundance will test your patience, your belief, and your resilience. You will face delays, setbacks, and decisions that challenge your comfort zone. There will be moments where fear whispers, play it safe. Moments where impatience tells you, rush ahead. And moments where doubt screams, you're not good enough. Without emotional discipline, these voices win. But with it, you stand firm. You learn to respond, not react. You train yourself to think clearly under pressure. You develop the ability to delay gratification, to stay consistent even when motivation fades, and to remain faithful to the process when results aren't immediate. True emotional discipline means learning to lead yourself. You must lead your mind away from negativity, your habits away from impulsiveness, and your decisions away from emotion-driven errors. It means protecting your energy, managing your stress, and developing routines that keep you anchored in clarity. This includes controlling your reaction to success as well. When money begins to flow abundantly, it is easy to become arrogant, careless, or overconfident. But discipline keeps you grounded. It reminds you that wealth is a tool, not a trophy. That your mission still matters more than your lifestyle, and that one foolish move, one reckless decision can undo years of effort. Emotional discipline is built, not born. You build it by doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. You build it by staying calm in storms, by choosing logic over panic, and by returning to your vision again and again when distractions try to pull you off course. You build it by practicing gratitude in every season, so you're not enslaved by greed when things go well, or by resentment when things go wrong. The emotionally disciplined person becomes immune to external chaos. Their focus cannot be shaken by temporary losses or unexpected changes. Because their center is strong, their vision is clear, and their response is measured. If you want to attract more wealth than you've ever imagined, you must first become the kind of person who can handle it. And that starts by mastering your emotions, because the person who controls their emotions controls their destiny. In every market, in every economy, in every business, emotional discipline will always be your competitive edge. It is what separates those who endure from those who implode. So train your mind to be still, your heart to be wise, and your decisions to be rooted in clarity, not chaos. That is the inner strength that invites outer abundance. That is the self-mastery that ensures not only will you gain wealth, you'll keep it, grow it, and use it with wisdom. Let this message stay with you long after the words fade. Lasting wealth is not an accident, and it is not reserved for a chosen few. It is built by those who shape their minds to expect abundance, craft their lives around purpose, and take consistent, intelligent action. The kind of wealth that leaves you wondering what to do with it isn't just about big bank accounts. It's about big vision, clear discipline, and the courage to think differently than the masses. You now understand that it starts with a mindset that attracts, not chases, a purpose so definite that it moves mountain systems, that earn while you rest money that serves you, not enslaves you, value that reaches far beyond your own world, and the emotional strength to stay steady through every season. That's the formula. That's the truth. Don't settle for survival. Don't let fear or doubt rob you of the fortune that's waiting on the other side of growth. You don't need to wait for permission. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to decide, and then move boldly in that direction. Build your mind. Build your mission. And remember, when you become the person who is ready for abundance, the abundance will come. And when it does, you won't just be rich in money. You'll be rich in purpose, power, and peace.